Video number 13. Number 13.1. My mom had a boyfriend who that happened to. He ended up going blind due to diabetes, and he had to have a leg removed due to gangrene. After he had his leg removed, the next day he slipped into a coma and wouldn't wake up. My mom sat with him day and night. At one point, he woke up and started saying out loud that he could see his mom who had passed away. My mom thought he was calling her his mom because he was looking in her direction, and she realized that he really thought he could see her. After that, at some point, he told my mom he could see her, and she told him that he could not because he was blind in both eyes. He described to her exactly what she had on from head to toe, and he told her she was the most beautiful woman he had ever met, and he was so lucky to have her. He was describing things you could see in the hospital room, and then his eyesight went again, and he could not see. He hadn't seen my mom in quite a few years when his eyesight came back for a few minutes, so I really imagine what was going through his mind being able to see again, and especially being able to see my mom. He ended up passing away a few weeks after. It's crazy what your body can do. Number 13.2. My husband was seeing people months before he died. He said they just stood there silently looking at him. I wish I knew the end was close, because I didn't know seeing these people was close to the end of his life. I just thought maybe they were ghosts or something, because to him they were so very real. Number 13.3. My grandmother 3 hours before her death were visited by her sisters/brothers, who appeared dressed in white in her room. Only she could see them. I could see her facial expression change. I feel it was a way of easing her fear of dying. She knew, and God knew. May she rest in peace. Number 13.4. I had heard about this phenomenon but hadn't experienced it, until my dad was hospitalized for a broken hip, and several days later his body began to decline. I was away on vacation for a couple of days. Upon my return I went to see him at the hospital. He was having a conversation and I just started to cry. His nurse asked what was wrong, and I blurted out, "My dad is going to die." She reassured me that he was going to be okay, but I just knew. He appeared healthy, was doing well surgically post-op, and no obvious signs of poor health, but he was failing. His conversation was with his dad, who had passed almost 30 years prior, and they were talking about deceased family and friends. Less than 4 days later, he passed peacefully from an undiagnosed return of metastasized non-Hodgkin's lymphoma that shut down his body. Number 13.5. Yes, when my mother was in hospice, she kept talking to my uncle, who had passed away many years prior. Number 13.6. Yes, mother did this, seeing deceased family, 2 or 3 months before she died. She was doing well at this time. Please subscribe, like and share with anyone that needs these comforting stories. Search for my related book on Amazon using the title of 4,000 Deathbed Vision Stories. Sincerely,